What's up and welcome back to my channel, the best place to help you get started building your business and brand online. And today is more a little Q&A style video. I've had a lot of comments, a lot of questions come in on my YouTube channel, some regarding just towards specific tutorials, and other ones questions around YouTube, Facebook, branding, getting started and things like that. So I will also, just to let you know, put some timestamps, what the questions are, and a timestamp below in the description. So if you want to jump to a specific question, feel free to do that. You can also put me on double speed. If you find that my southern accent, where I talk a little bit too slow for you, feel free to speed me up. With that being said, if you're pumped, hit that thumbs up and keep on watching. Now, the first three questions that I'm going to be answering are, they pertain to tutorials that I've done, or how to do something specific on Facebook or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and knock those out first. So the very first question, I've had a few people actually ask this on my channel, specifically BuckCreek Restoration and Home Solutions, and then also Business School for Creatives, both had mentioned or asked, how do you join a Facebook group using your business page and not your personal profile in the new format, meaning the new look of Facebook, not the classic version, but the new updated desktop laptop version of Facebook. The old format will allow you to choose how you join. The new format automatically puts you in groups under your personal account, and I can't figure out how to change it. So what I'm going to do is, right now I've got Facebook pulled up. I do have the new desktop version. I am using my laptop. And so what I did was I just went in and found just a Facebook group, one that pertains to me because my little girl does cheer. And so I just found a group, the Crazy Moms of Cheer. So if you wanted to join from your business page and not your personal profile, when you go to join a group, when you click join group, it's going to ask you how, choose how to join the group. I can join as my profile. I can do it as my business page. So if I wanted to do it using, like, joining from my business page, I would just click Sherri Brown Coaching and then join group. If I wanted to do it from my personal profile, I would then click that and click join group. Now, pretty much the same goes if you're doing it from your mobile. I do have an iPhone, so it should give you the option as well when you're joining from your cell phone to a group, how you want to join, whether or not it's personal profile or business. So that just knocks that question out real quick. Now moving on to the next question, where I'm actually going to pull up and do it from my cell phone. All right, so the next question is from Custom Workout Plan. They ask, I did a YouTube tutorial showing how to share a post from profile or business into your Facebook stories and how to make that post clickable. I will link that video above and below in the description if you aren't really for sure if you haven't seen it. But they want to know specifically, how can you do this on a Facebook business page, not a profile? So if you're wanting to share something and make it clickable in your Facebook business page stories, is what I'm going to assume you are referring to, Custom Workout Plan. So if that's not it, let me know. But I am just, right now, I've got just my Facebook profile pulled up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down, and let's just say I want to go to, let me just go to this particular post, okay? So let's just say I want to share. I'm just going to click share in the bottom right-hand corner of the post. I'm going to click share, and it's going to give me an option right here. Now, again, I am using an iPhone, so if you have an Android, it may look a little bit different, but it gives you the option right here, share to your personal story or share to a page's story. So I'm going to click share to a page story, and it's going to ask me which one I want to share to. So I'm just going to click Sherri Brown Coaching, and it's going to pull this up, and then I can just, move this around, make it bigger, make it smaller, and then I can just add text to it by clicking this little AA right here at the top. And I can just say something as simple as, and then at the bottom, I'm just going to click share now. And what's going to happen is, right now it's adding to my page's story. So if I just scroll back up, if I just hit home, I scroll back up to the top, it's going to show my page's stories right here. So if I click Sherri Brown Coaching, I'm going to pull those up, go through, and you can see this particular post. So if I click on it, if I just click in the center, it's going to say view post. So if I click view post, it's going to take you directly to that particular post that I posted. So that is how you share a post and make it clickable to a Facebook business page story and not profile. So moving on to the next question. The next question is from ACR. They ask, how do I view story replies after 24 hours and my story expires? Okay, so let's just say story replies. You're going to go to your profile, your personal profile, and you're going to click these three little dots over here, and you're just going to go to where it says story archive. Okay, so if I click story archive, this is where all of your stories are going to show up. Now, I did a video all about like various Facebook stories, how to use them, different features. I'll link a few of those down below in the descriptions if you want to learn more about Facebook stories. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down, and let's just say I have one. I had one where I ask a specific question, and it's all the way down here from like July. So let me just scroll. It'll take me just a second. And this is one where I was asking a question right here. Okay, so if I click this story and pull it up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll right down here at the bottom where it says the amount of people who viewed it. I'm going to click on it, and then what's going to happen is you can view all of the replies, like if somebody actually replied directly to it. And then if they actually posted an answer, like a response in the actual question box, you're going to see those right here. So if I just click see all, it's going to pull up all of those responses. They're going to be right there. So any story that you actually pull up, if somebody actually replied, if somebody wrote something, it will show all of those replies there. So if I pull this one up, I can pull up, and again, right down here where it shows how many people viewed it, it's going to pull up and show like all of the replies in here, like what people actually asked. So that is just a quick little response of, how to view story replies even after your story has already expired. So with that being said, now we're going to kind of change directions and going to answer some other questions around YouTube, branding, marketing, getting started, all of that. So the next question comes from Daveda Schmidlin. She is one of my students. She said, how do you decide if you should niche down? Now, if you haven't niched down, this is really surrounding like branding and niching down and becoming known for something specific. Now, if you haven't already done that, this is one of the first things that I really teach people how to do when it comes to building a personal brand. Branding yourself is figuring out, number one, what you want to be known for. And then if you can niche down 1 to 2 levels deep and become known for something super specific, that is even better. Now, I did a video all around like how to niche down with lots of examples. So I'll link that above and below in the description as well. But when it comes to how do you decide if you should niche down, I think the sooner the better. Now, with that being said, obviously when I first got started, I started and was pretty general because I didn't really know, like I started talking business. I wanted to teach people like how entrepreneurs, moms who were working from home, like how to build a business, how to build a brand online. But I was kind of talking about everything. Like I was listening to all kinds of webinars on a bunch of different topics. And it took me being a little bit more general and more broad at first to really figure out what I loved about marketing, what I didn't want to talk about. And by doing that, I feel like over time, it kind of gave me a sense of what my sweet spot was, so to speak. And that's why now it took a while, but now I've really been branding myself, niching down specifically, teaching entrepreneurs how to get started online, because that was a huge struggle when I first got started. I was a total spammer for the first 4 years. If you followed me, you know my story. And then even after that, it took a little bit of time, even once I started learning about marketing, once I started learning about attraction marketing in general and how to get people to reach out to me. It was still a while before I understood the concept and the power behind building a personal brand. And so with that being said, because it was something that I struggled with And because I would start something and then have to turn around and like backtrack and like redo stuff, that's why I'm so passionate now about teaching people how to build a solid business foundation. So when you're just getting started building a business and building a brand, it's like, what's the most important things that you should focus on when you're just getting started, and what are things that like you shouldn't worry about that are like big time wasters? And it took a while for me to get to that point. So maybe for you, let's say, you're in health and wellness, but, sitting down and thinking about what you really want to be known for, maybe, you really want to be known for nutrition and really helping people get started. Obviously, health and wellness is a huge industry. It's very, very broad. So the more you can niche down, the better off you're going to be. And here's the deal. Remember that even when it comes to branding yourself, even when it comes to niching down, like, don't be afraid to pivot, because sometimes, like, when you get started and you go out there and you start building your business, you're going to make tweaks. Like, as you evolve as a person, you may decide to pivot, and that's totally okay. Remember that no decision you make is ever going to be set in stone. Okay, next question comes from Geeta Warad. I'm not sure if that's really how you pronounce it, but they left a comment on one of my YouTube videos, the one where I talked about how to add custom thumbnails to your YouTube video. They said, will there be a problem if I keep changing the thumbnail? So here's really what I've learned about being on YouTube and all the research and everything that I've done studying YouTube. Obviously, thumbnails are big, okay? They're very, very important, because when it comes to YouTube, the higher the click-through rate, and click-through rate means as someone is scrolling through on YouTube, your click-through rate is how many people have actually seen your video or seen your thumbnail come up, and like, do they click on it, okay? So average click-through rate when somebody sees your thumbnail is 2 to 10%. So for me, kind of like the rule of thumb that I've learned, again, is if you look at your YouTube analytics and you see that you've got a pretty high click-through rate on that YouTube thumbnail, then I would probably leave it alone and I would not change it. Now, if the video is doing good in search, if it's getting picked up by suggested, like if the video is actually ranking, then I would probably leave it alone and I wouldn't mess with it. So, however, on the flip side, there are, several videos that I have gone on into the analytics. I'll see that it's got a low click-through rate, and what I'll do is instead of tweaking a bunch of things, I will first go in and maybe tweak the thumbnail. So I'll contact my graphic designer, and if it's got like a lower click-through rate than other videos on my channel, or like the average, then that will be the first thing I'll change. And then I'll go in. After that, I'll give it some time, look at my analytics again, and then maybe see if it needs tweaked again, or it's got a lower click-through rate. Maybe I need to like tweak my title, okay? So again, when it comes to how often you should change, if you keep changing your thumbnail, if it's ranking, it could, from what I've learned, end up messing up the ranking, so to speak. So again, if it's got a high click-through rate, if it's getting picked up in search suggested, if the video is ranking, I would probably leave it alone and only tweak those that that maybe aren't getting picked up, or that you see has a low click-through rate. So kind of a long-winded answer, but I feel like you should have a good grasp on when and when not to change it. Okay, so this question comes from iMadelt. And this is again referring to, they had commented on a video I made referring to like how to make stories clickable, like how to make posts clickable in Facebook stories. And they had commented, I was looking for this feature because I had it and now it's off or not usable and I'm not sure why. Thanks for the info, still new in learning how to share and link a clickable post. So here's what I'm gonna kind of tell you, okay? Facebook is constantly changing. Social media is constantly changing. And especially with social media, any social media platform you use, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're constantly making changes. And I feel like someone who's been on Facebook for years, I feel like every day you can log in and there's something new, there's something different. But what you have to understand too is when it comes to new features being rolled out, sometimes they will give you access to a feature and then the next day you could log in and that feature may not be there, okay? So I actually recently did a YouTube tutorial sharing all the different new features that Facebook rolled out. One specifically was being able to format post on your profile. And what I mean by formatting is where you can go in on your laptop or desktop, because you were not able to do this on your profile, and you could make your text bold, you could make it italicized, you could make it a bigger heading, like bigger print, and then all of a sudden I logged in and the feature was no longer there. Also keep in mind, when it comes to Facebook and new features, they are going to roll out to different people at different times, okay? So it's not going to roll out to everybody in the US at once. It's going to depend on where you live in the world. It's going to depend on what type of device you have. Sometimes iPhone users will get features before Android users. Again, it will depend on where you're located. There's lots of different factors as far as when a feature will specifically roll out to you. I know it can be frustrating, but that's just the way it is. So just kind of keep that in mind as maybe you look at different tutorials that I do. And if there's something that maybe you see that's been updated, you watch a video of mine and you're like, hey, I don't have that, let me know down below. It might be a feature that just isn't available, or there's still times where people will tell me, okay, well, this feature is not available for me, but then I log in and it's still available for me. So, or it may not be available for you, but it's still available for me, or vice versa. Again, that's just a part of it. Try not to get too discouraged. With that being said, let's move on to the next question. So the next question comes from Jacklyn Smith, who had commented, how can I get people to trust me? I have a lot of traction, but I feel like there's a small amount of people who actually trust me. I know eventually when I show my progress using the products, that will help a lot, but I'm only a few weeks in right now. I've been passionate about beauty products for years, and people in my personal life always trusted my recommendations. I even did it on social media too, but it seems now that I'm doing it as my job, nobody trusts it. So I'm going to assume that you are in a network marketing company. Here's the deal. I'm going to give you a few different things, some tips here. So the first thing, when it comes to if it is a network marketing company, there is just a bad connotation, like a bad taste in people's mouth when it comes to network marketing. And I remember hearing Ray Higdon talk about, like, people don't have an issue with network marketing, they have an issue with network marketers, okay? Meaning it's how people go out there and market that puts a bad taste in people's mouth. It's because most network marketing companies, they don't actually teach you attraction marketing. They don't teach you how to build a personal brand and how to actually build trust with people. And it's super, super important, not only in network marketing, but in everything that you do, that you focus on, first of all, building a personal brand, okay? Because people do business with people, they don't do business with brands. So make sure that you're not going out there and just posting a bunch of before and afters and splattering your network marketing company's name like all over social media, because it's a super, super big turnoff when you're just focusing on what somebody can do for you versus what you can do for somebody else. So the next tip I'm going to give you is focus on solving a problem, okay? This is huge when it comes to building trust. Is we always want to think about, and this is the mentality I had in the beginning without even thinking about it. Like, it wasn't that I was like trying to, I guess it kind of was. Like, it's not like I meant to do this, but I was so focused on, real talk here, what somebody can do for me. I was focused on trying to get sales. And that is the wrong mentality to have. If you want to get people to trust you, if you want to get people to buy from you, it all is going to come down to how can you help somebody solve a problem? Because at the end of the day, that's what makes people buy. People don't care about, how much money you make. They don't care about how many sales you can make. They don't care about you rank advancing in your network marketing company or how many coaching clients you can get. What they care about is their problem. People are a little bit selfish like that, right? So when you can go out there and you can get into conversations with people, if you're prospecting and having conversations, don't make it about you. You need to ask questions and get them to open up and find out like what their struggle is. People love to talk about themselves. So when you can find out like what they're struggling with, what their problems are, then you can use your products or your services or your programs or whatever as back-end solutions to solve the problem that they have. And when it comes to building trust, another thing that I'm going to tell you, is go out there and start creating good content. The worst thing that I did, one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I joined network marketing, and this was the first couple companies I was in, is I was all about just plastering before and afters, talking about the product, talking about how great the company was, and I wasn't actually creating good content that was helpful or giving tips or anything like that. So when you can go out there and you can think about, okay, first of all, like, what is my brand? Who am I wanting to attract? What's the main problem I solve? Like, what do I help people with? Then you can go out there and you can create content, videos, posts, whatever the case may be, to where you're giving tips, you're solving a problem, you're being helpful, and then you can have some type of call to action, you know, where you're offering a solution to that problem. And a couple of videos that I'm gonna have you watch that I think are very, very important, and I will link those below, so be sure to check the description for extra videos, is one, it's all about like what to do when you're just getting started. That's like a quick little overview of the important things of building a foundation. And then I'm also going to link to another video about how to create like a content marketing plan, which is very, very important. It's exactly what I do here. So the content that I put out here, just answering questions, or the videos that I'm talking about that I'm referencing, those are all helping you solve a problem. And when I can do that, what's going to happen is it's automatically going to build trust, okay? So that is really how you build trust, okay? And then from there, you just share solutions. So a good example of this when it comes to my own buying habits is Jacklyn Hill. I love Jacklyn Hill. I've talked about her a lot when it comes to content. She is an amazing creator when it comes to YouTube, and she's in the beauty industry. Now, there was a point in time where I was horrendous at putting on makeup. I don't know where my actual friends were a few years ago when I was in this total pink stage. I still love pink. My Christmas tree's pink in the background. I keep it up all year. But I had like pink hair, and then at one point I was wearing like pink eyeshadow, pink lipstick. Like, I looked like the friggin' pink lady from Hollywood, okay? Like, and I just wondered like where my friends were, why they couldn't come out and be like, Sherri, dude, we really need to work on your makeup. But I did have one person who was in the beauty industry that was like, hey, you may want to think about changing up your eye makeup. That's when I found Jacklyn Hill. And at the time, like, I think I had like one makeup brush, and I ended up watching some tutorials and, you know, like taking the action and like pausing the video and like learning how to do eye makeup. And I watched a video where she was just talking about different eye makeup brushes and the importance of like what each one does, the benefit of each one, and why you need different types of brushes. And never had a conversation with the woman. And based on her recommendations, because she had built trust through the content, through the videos she was putting out, solving a problem, teaching me how to apply my makeup better, I, you know, had bought tons of stuff that she's recommended based on that. And I gladly do that, and I gladly hope that she is getting cuts and getting commissions out of it. I've bought her makeup palette, the Jacklyn Hill palette. It's like the only eyeshadow palette I even use anymore. But I do that not only because she helped me, but also in turn to support her. So again, that's how you build trust. You focus on putting out content, helping people solve a problem, and then offering solutions based on that problem, the solutions being your products, your services, your coaching, whatever the case may be. So that's how you build trust. Know that it takes time. You know, some people, you're going to have people who they may have to be on your email list or watch your videos for years before they ever buy anything. Some people will never buy. That's totally fine, but you always want to make sure that you leave people better than you found them, okay? Focus on them, focus on their needs. That's how you build trust. And again, I'll also leave a link below referencing some other videos. So that was a little bit more in depth than I meant to go, but hopefully you got some value from that. And I will say too, if you have any other questions and you like this type of video where I'm doing more Q&A, going through several, leave any questions you have around building a personal brand, social media, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Leave those questions below, and that way I can make sure that I'm putting out content that you want to see. Now, the next question, it comes from Polish Yourself Pretty with Ashlee, and this is referring to the video, the Secrets to Getting Started video, where I talk about the business foundation. So she said, thanks for the awesome content in this video. I've been a distributor since November 2019 with this company. While I have done well with sales goals, but I feel like I've hit the part where my wheels are just spinning. I've got a good portion of the START in place, and the START acronym is one that I have in that Getting Started video, but lack the knowledge on how to reach more of my ideal target customers outside of my network, setting up an email list, and how to maintain it. Do you have any specific programs to help with this? So first of all, my main signature program, which is the Mom's Marketing Lounge, it is going to be, based on when you're watching this, renamed the Ignite Your Brand Academy, but I will leave the information down below. That is my signature course. It's in depth, teaching you every part of that START acronym: building a brand, identifying your target audience, building your email list. I do have, if you want to just set up a basic email list, I do have some tutorials how to do that. I'll also link those in the description below, so be sure to check that out. And when it comes to how to reach more of your customers outside of your own network, this is where putting all of this into place comes. So if I was just starting over, because I feel like my audience could have been way bigger had I not spammed those first 4 years. But again, when it comes to expanding past your own network, you want to think about, first of all, where are you trying to grow? Where are you putting out content? If it's YouTube, if it's Facebook, like really get to know those particular platforms. So again, on YouTube, I have been studying like how to get my videos picked up in search, how to get them picked up and suggested. I share those videos out. That's how I've been able to really grow my audience organically, meaning without paid ads, is by putting out content and doing everything that I can in order to optimize the video with good titles, good thumbnails, good descriptions, try to get them picked up in search. That is just some YouTube based stuff. When it comes to Facebook, it's, I've done a lot when it comes to growing my audience, and maybe I'll do a more in-depth video just about growing, how to expand past your warm market. But get into Facebook groups. I'll just give you some tips here and then I'll elaborate more in an upcoming video. But get into some Facebook groups that are relevant to people who your ICA is hanging out, like figure out where they're hanging out. So if I'm in the beauty industry and I'm doing makeup, maybe I'm going to get in and I'm going to do get into some different makeup groups, okay? Not to get in there and pitch, but maybe it's to get in there and just connect with people, answer questions, see how you can help them. Giveaways are huge. I have done that a lot when it comes to building and getting people to like share my content. So I'll think about something relevant. So again, let's just take the beauty industry. I'm not in the beauty industry, but maybe you've got some, like different makeup brushes, and you can do a video all around, what you're giving away. And you can tell people, hey, these are the different ways to enter. Giveaways are huge, okay? It's huge for getting outside of your own warm market, getting people to share it, tapping into other audiences, other people's networks. That's huge. And it's staying consistent. So those are just a few things that I've done. Again, I'll do an upcoming video, giving you more ideas, more in-depth about it. But with that being said, again, if you have any other questions, drop those below in the comments. If you did get some value, be sure to not only hit the thumbs up, you can share it out, sharing is caring, subscribe, and hit the bell as I come out with new videos each and every week, again, to help you build your business and your brand online. While you wait on that next video, be sure to check out the ones that are popping up on the screen. That being said, I hope you have the most productive day, the most productive week, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye for now.